I learnt piano when I started learning piano when I was about 8 years old, and then gradually, like, I studied that, but I was not sort of a keen practicer. So I got more and more into. I got a computer and started sequencing on that. And my dad's a musician as well, so he's a drummer, and he used to get given drum machines as they sort of came out to try out. So we had like a Linn drum and a TR-808 in the house when I was about 13 or 14. And at that time, I was listening to the electro stuff that I was getting on the Street Sounds compilations. So that's when I first realised that you could actually make sort of backing tracks, rhythm tracks and stuff fairly simply with just a drum machine and a computer. I had an SH-101 as well, which was my first sort of synth. And then the piano, sort of the actual sort of studying classical stuff became less important really, and I concentrated more on producing backing tracks and rhythm tracks, sort of, you know, influenced by Juan Atkins, like the Clear Cybertron track, and that kind of thing. So that took me through my teens really, and then I went to music college, and that's when I got more into the jazz side of things, and particularly fusion stuff like Weather Report, Joe Zawinul, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, all those guys that were actually really sort of pushing the boundaries with technology, like buying all the latest gear, Fairlights, and obviously all the sort of old modular synths, but still had amazing sort of technique, musical ability, and an ear, which meant that the music that they were producing sounded both sort of futuristic and kind of really musical and sort of deep at the same time. And that is pretty much my biggest influence on my musical productions now, is the sound of those guys, those pioneers from the 70s that were kind of both players and producers and programmers all together, just making music, you know, just one man sort of producing his own productions like Herbie Hancock was with his sort of synth stuff.